That question sort of implies, or there's an implication in that question where the questioner is asking, are there or should it be okay for me to compromise certain standards about the type of job that I take when the economic situation is bad, when it's tough to find jobs? The answer to that, I think, is that there are certain core principles that we have to apply to the kind of work we do, to the kind of jobs that we take up as Christians. And we'll talk about those core principles shortly here, but we should never compromise on those core principles, right? But within those core principles, there's a lot of latitude in what company you work for and what kind of job you take up. So what are those core principles? I'll go back to 1 Corinthians 10, I believe it's verse 31, which says that whatever you do all to the glory of God. Now, the context there is talking about eating and drinking, but there's a broader principle there that you can apply to many areas of our life, and especially to our jobs, right? The jobs that we do should be of a nature that allow us to do it to the glory of God. Second point I'd make is core principle of our testimony. As Christians, we need to be engaging in the kinds of work and the types of work that allow us to maintain our testimony as a Christian. We need to understand what is a particular firm or a company selling, what product are they selling, or what service are they delivering, what impact does it have on other people and on society as a whole. And accordingly, we need to make a decision on whether that's a job that is appropriate for us in maintaining our testimony. And then the final core principle is that the kind of work we do should not require us to compromise on certain core ethical principles. So they shouldn't be requiring us to do unethical things that we know are wrong, not just from a biblical perspective, but maybe from a legal perspective. So with all of those in mind, I think those are some core principles that we shouldn't compromise. And the questioner asked about culture and values. Certainly almost all companies, all large companies nowadays, they articulate or they try to build a certain culture, and they try to build that culture by articulating certain values, which are all very well put out. It's about integrity and about respect and quality and so many other things. But it's very hard to know when you're trying to find a job, what is the real situation within a company, right? They may have values and objectives on paper, but do they really live those values? And you really don't know that until you join a company. Certainly, we have to also remember that we live in a fallen world. So it doesn't matter what a company may intend and what they may write down on paper. Ultimately, those things have to be brought to life by fallen human beings. And there'll be a lot of imperfection in that. There'll be a lot of problems with that. They may not always align with those stated values. But for us as Christians, we shouldn't look for perfection in any job, but we should go back to those core principles that, is it a job that I can do to the glory of God? Is it a job that allows me to maintain my testimony? And third, is it a job that allows me to do things in an ethical way and does not require me to do things that are illegal or unethical? And if those are core principles, no matter what the economic situation, that we need to hold to in terms of the kind of jobs that we are willing to do and the kind of jobs that we sign up to do.